the story of our homes and our city. Well, we all know that I was one of the hosts of F, which was quite an iconic show. It aired for 7 years, and when it ended, I felt that my return to television had to be of the next step. Maybe the F girl that grew up. So it wasn't just the F girl who loved fashion, but she had an apartment or a home that she had to dress up. At the same time, there was no television show that focused on interior design and architecture and how people live. So that was the driving force and why we created Urban Zone. Among television programs, it was a small player because we were airing at 1 in the morning. We didn't have the resources of a big network. But in the grand scheme of things, in the design world, in the greater market, Urban Zone had a big impact. And I think we realized the power of Urban Zone through the support of urbanistas. It was very inspiring to see that happen.
Urban Zone is the only show that really caters to the architectural needs, helps in getting concepts from different designs and the different views of other architects.
Urban Zone is a wonderful platform for us, for our works to be shown.
It's not about just the designers, because sometimes you don't even have a designer and you like the house. So the homeowner was so proud to really share with them that you can do it.
I think Urban Zone is a design hub wherein all of these designers can showcase their design sensibilities, their philosophies, and their work.
It gives inspiration to people. Na-inspire na sila na mag-iipon ako, I want to have that house. It pushes people to live a well-designed life.
Urban Zone showed a lot of different styles. It never really just focused on modern or neoclassic. It really featured all kinds of houses.
An important feature of the show was also Daphne interviewed the homeowners as well as the architects and the interior designers. So you get all sorts of points of view from the professional and from the end user.
I always get asked what made UZ effective and what made it the way it was. To tell you the truth, Urban Zone is the simplest and easiest show I ever had. It was so much fun to do. Work was not work. There was no science to it. We didn't have to make pa cute or do so many crazy things. It was just simply a conversation between me and the homeowner or me and the architect and designer. I always get asked, even by urbanista viewers, what's your favorite house? And I can never answer it. It's like asking me, who's your favorite daughter? There's no one favorite, but there are definitely those that stand out. And I could say that based on response on the internet. One of them, of course, was the house that Mike Peña did. It was the resort house. 5 or 6 stories, you know, with a waterfall in the middle and living like literally like a resort. And it was just endless luxury and design, up to the bathroom, up to the closet of the homeowner with her 10 Hermes bags. So that was, you know, wealth and design. Good job. Definitely one of our major scoops was Kenneth Cabanpue. Kenneth, on our first season, I think it was our 6th or 4th episode, he flew to Manila and responded to my request to interview him. I had known Kenneth before that. I was one of the first journalists to interview Kenneth when he was just starting, before Brad Pitt discovered him. So we're tight, me and Kenneth. So whenever I call, Kenneth, show me the, you know, your new pieces. Yeah, so the support of Kenneth Cabanpue from the very beginning really helped a lot.
We showed a penthouse unit. We actually call it the Icon Penthouse because it was owned by an iconic figure in the media industry, and at the same time it was located in the Icon Tower. Had a magnificent view of the Manila skyline, and what we wanted to do was to integrate the outdoor space, which was the terrace, and bring it into the interiors of her space.
I got a lot of emails from other clients that really wanted to have a green building design. In such a way, I was able to open up the eyes of people how to have a beautiful house with green design features.
Again, another amazing icon, of course, Ellie Buendia. I am an Eraserheads fan. I love them. When Ellie agreed to show his house, I was amazed that he showed us his master bedroom and nobody had ever seen it. His bedroom, his closet, all his private spaces. And the guy has serious taste. So amazing. I mean, iconic man, iconic house. What else could you ask?
We're published in magazines, but we're never on television.
Yeah.
So people really approach and say, I saw you on TV.
How we like the house that you did? Because how long did it take? I mean, they're really into it.
I remember being that amazed when it was Ed Calma. Showed us his own house. And it was a scoop. We were the first one to show Ed Calma's house. The challenge there for him was his space was so tiny, but he created a beautiful box. I think it was inspired by the bento box. Another one, of course, an original Benji Reyes. His furniture, they're not just furniture, they're art pieces and made by hand with no nails. Benji invited us to his home and showed us his original Filipino house. Another house that I got a lot of questions about was the house of the French couple who lived in Parañaque, and they had 12 kids, and they did not build a house, they built a resort. They didn't have a yard, they had a pool in the middle, and around it they had cabanas for their 12 children. And then another pavilion for their kitchen and dining room and living room. Couldn't believe that people could live like that. Literally, it was like a resort. A lot of the times, I was so surprised that even the most private people were showing their most private spaces. I don't know any show who's been to bathrooms and seen closets of famous and rich people and successful people. To be given that trust, you know, people, it's not easy to open up your own house to a television crew. I remember also that people were aiming for that. People who built homes, one of their aims was to be featured by Urban Zone. Sana ma-feature ko ng Urban Zone. What was the most touching and most charming was interviewing and going into the homes of urbanistas who were inspired by Urban Zone ideas. So when we get letters from urbanistas saying, you know, I fixed my living room, this was inspired by that house that you featured, it's amazing to see what our viewers have learned and how they have translated what they've learned into their own space. So I really value that kind of relationship with our viewers, and it's amazing. Urban Zone is a dream. Even for me, every time I went to a new house, I would take home something and say, I think I'm really inspired by, you know, this feature and that feature. So I think that's what it is. UZ was a dream. Another TV.
She's not intimidating.
She's very friendly.
She's very friendly.
She's well-informed.
And she's well-informed.
It's nice if you're talking to an intelligent person. She has a point of view that's very important to everybody. To the designer she's interviewing, to the audience she's trying to reach. Daphne is good. I can't think of any other person to host it.
Ang ganda ng idea na Miss Daphne is interviewing designers going from the step inside the house hanggang sa pinakahuli. As a designer, ini-explain namin yung work namin and also yung lifestyle nung nakatira doon. Laking tulong sa design team namin, especially we're the young generation designers, na napapakita yung mga works namin.
I've always watched Daphne and I've always admired how comfortable she was in the camera. She just made you feel so comfortable that you feel like you're just talking to a friend and touring her around your project.
A couple of things that came out accidentally about Urban Zone. Number one, it became an inspirational program. Never did we plan to create a show that would be inspiring. I mean, it's a great thing, but for me, it was simple storytelling, simple showing of new things, of new homes, of private spaces. But we didn't make it a goal to say, ooh, let's inspire people. But all the letters we got from OFWs, balikbayans, people here locally, writing letters saying you are inspiring us to work hard, to save our money, to make that first investment for a new home, to renovate, you know. So it was really very touching to see that it became an inspiring program. Urbanistas in the Philippines and TFC, thank you for watching. Good night and sweet dreams.
Nung narinig ko nga, when I heard that Urban Zone is getting off air na, I was really saddened. Sabi ko, bakit? This is like one of the best lifestyle TV that I've seen. It's really a lifestyle show na pag nawala, sayang.
I'm very sure it's gonna like resurrect itself somewhere.
In any business, especially in media and communications and television, you have to keep changing. Change with the times. Urban Zone as you knew it then may not exist in the same form, but it's coming back in another form and in another medium. So Urban Zone will air in my website, daphne.ph, because the web is so dynamic, it is free, it is widespread, it's universal, it's completely democratic.
She never really underestimated the power of the web when she tapped me to design her site. The good thing about Urban Zone being on Daphne.ph is people don't have to stay up late on Friday nights anymore. They can just go to Daphne.ph anytime and view all the episodes from anywhere in the world.
This is our way of bringing Urban Zone to a much wider audience. Is going to be amazing. I think with this new phase of Urban Zone, no one will be happier than the urbanistas. The many of you who have followed us and watched our show, no matter what time or what day it aired, thank you so much. And now you can see it at your own pleasure. You will be seeing it on Daphne.ph.